hour.
We all go a little mad.
Forget you.
The dead follow a legendary
You are going to die
Hello and welcome to the Horror Hour, place we discuss, we debate, we disagree on all things horror, but today I'm super excited. And I'm gonna bleep that, because YouTube will come after us. But I get to talk to you about HBO's upcoming series, The Last of Us. Now, as somebody who's played the game multiple times, who's fallen in love with the characters, the story, everything about it, I couldn't be more happy to get to talk to you about the actual series. This that means I did kind of go into this with very high expectations, just because of how much I love the source material. Now, Craig Mazin and the writer and creator Neil Druckmann is back with this series. You've got, stepping in the role of Joel and Ellie, Pedro Pascal, or otherwise Pedro Zaddy Pascal, and in the role of Ellie you have Bella Ramsey. And honestly, there are tons of supporting characters, and I could name them all off, but I'm terrible with names. But you've got Marlene, Tess, Tommy, Riley, Bill, so many. But this story is all about Joel and Ellie. And that's what the game was, and that's what the series is. Now, where does it stack up? I'm going to talk about that. And then, basically, I'm going to let you know my thoughts, the good, the bad, should you watch it. All right. Well, to give you a brief synopsis, Joel and Ellie are a pair connected through the harshness of the world they live in, and they are forced to endure brutal circumstances and ruthless killers on their trek across post-pandemic America. And with that, speaking of the ruthless killers, you also do have people who became infected from the virus. And they turned into these awful monsters known as clickers. And you've got the bloaters. And I'm not going to really go into detail because you should see that when you see it. But anyways, more importantly, where does this hold up to the game? Well, I'm here to tell you, it rocks, okay? I was very nervous going in, but I'm going to tell you right now, that season premiere, that is almost 90 freaking minutes, okay? And it sets up everything. And just like the game, it's going to rip your heart out, as it should. And you are going to go through what I can't... There's just this journey. Oh my gosh, I'm stumbling in my words, but it's hard to really think about it because I never expected the series to be what it is. And it's great. It really, really is. Just like the game, this is cinematic, expansive. The acting is very well done. The story is just what I remembered and more. And when I say like what I remembered, I can tell you there are times within the show, they take dialogue right out of the game. And I can see for those who, want a very faithful adaptation, they're going to love that. For those who want something different or more, I think you'll still appreciate it because those lines of dialogue were pivotal points in the game or just had so much emotion with it, And so for me, I was incredibly happy to see that. I was fulfilled, honestly. Like, oh my God, I was not expecting certain things to happen. Now, I know there's been talk about, this game isn't, or I'm going to probably slip up and say game when I mean show. There's been talk about that this show is not as violent as the game. Well, let's take a step back and look that you have source material that at most could be 5.5, 6 hours long. And you're going to turn it into a 10-hour plus TV season? I mean, and I say that because some of these episodes are long, all right? So it clocks in a little over 10 hours through the course of 9 episodes, all right? So in the game, of course, you're going to be, going through the journey. You're going to be killing the clickers, all that good stuff. Well, yes, you're going to see that in this show, but this show is really, and I cannot stress this enough, it is about Joel and Ellie's journey, where they are at the beginning and how they become who they are at the end. You have Joel, who is still trying to overcome grief and trauma, and you've got Ellie, who's closed off because they just truly feel alone in this world. And there's so much more to that, in a sense. One of the things that I truly can tell you that's great about this series is the fact that you also have a great cast of supporting characters who were wonderful in the game, but here in the series, they're giving so much more. Better, like a deeper background or backstory, and you just get to know more about them. Again, there are going to be changes from the game to the show, and I feel that they actually work in the show's benefit. One thing I'll say is you get a better sense of who Bill was, and I really, I appreciated that. Let alone I appreciated that when I was playing this back in 2013, because I know people are going to already come for that episode, but look, The Last of Us has several queer characters, all right? So get over it. Also, with that being said, you actually get to see those stories really fleshed out. And again, when I say the 9 episodes covers the entire game, and I think they've also talked about that, and that also includes DLC. So if there is a season 2, I would assume that's going to be the second game. I will also, other props. The actors or the performers who played the clickers and their body movements, holy cow, incredible. It was really great to get to see those brought to life. It's truly terrifying. And I realized, to circle back on the violence, you do see some graphic violence. People are getting killed. Monsters are getting killed. But that's not the central aspect to this show. It just, again, is part of the circumstance that they find themselves in as they are trying to get from point A to Z. I really appreciate both the way Pedro and Bella take on these roles, because I think for a lot of gamers out there, myself included, these are 2 iconic roles, and these are 2 characters that we cherish deeply. So we wanted to see them really represented. And I can tell you that they did a fabulous job. Honestly, oh my God. It came to a certain point to where I couldn't tell the difference between the game and the show. And I love that. There's dialogue that's ripped right out of the game. It works. Just go with it. If you recognize it, you'll be like, oh my gosh. But if you don't, it still moves the story forward. And there are still some emotional scenes. I can't stress enough how great it was to get to see Riley. If you played the DLC, you know who that is. I'm not going to spoil things in this, but if you've played the game, I'm going to tell you right now, for the most part, this is a very faithful adaptation in terms of story. There are some new characters that are added, and some characters have been changed a little bit, and that's okay, because it works and helps kind of create that more of an emotional setting. Because at the end of the day, this is drama and horror, but it's mainly why we loved the game was because of how dramatic it was. And I hope I'm selling this, because I'm going to tell you right now, I loved the game and I loved the show. I have watched it multiple times through, because I do want to actually eventually talk spoilers, but I don't want to spoil that in this review. I just want to let you know that everything I had hoped for The Last of Us came true with this adaptation. And there's always a fear when it comes to video game adaptations that, well, what's turned out is just never good. Sorry. I love the Super Mario Brothers. but it's not a great film. Resident Evil series, I enjoy them, but they're not great. Sorry. Double Dragon, well, we don't talk about that movie. We just, let's move on. I'm just stating that this series, this first season is incredible. And it sets the stage for season 2. And I hope that we get to see that more. But I'm kind of hoping we keep adding to the backstory of these characters and really flesh out maybe even more of the time before everything went to shit. To know where these characters were before that, that would be really cool. I'm just throwing that out there. But anyways, I should tell you, just prepare yourself because the season opener is a doozy. And it hits all the right beats. You're going to be gutted. If you're not gutted, you don't have a heart. This show, I mean, oh gosh, it was like being back in the game. You know, the entire world, there were moments that they took from the game that they put in this series that if you're a fan of the game, it's going to just like, oh my God, you're just going to be ecstatic. They even have the composer of the previous, or the part 1 and part 2 doing the score in the series, and it is fantastic. When I hear those guitar strings, like, it gives me chills. So I just, also, you know, again, I'm going all over the place with this, and I do apologize, but I truly don't have anything that I was pissed off about watching this TV show. All 9 episodes are fantastic. They really take you on the journey, and if you, like, you just become so invested with the relationship between Joel and Ellie, and the way it evolves on screen and throughout the story is just, oh my God, it's really incredible. Okay, in conclusion, let me wrap this up. You know what? The Last of Us, season 1, episodes 1 through 9, full season, is phenomenal. It really, really is. It took something that I hold near and dear to my heart, because the video game is fantastic, and it took me on that journey all over again. With some surprises along the way, tons of heartbreak, some incredible action sequences, awesome effects. I mean, kudos also to the actors who play the clickers, because their body movements, crazy, creepy as hell. Very effective. The bloater. Oh my God, I can't even explain that. But also, I should tell you, the backstory of not only the disease, how it spread, you know, certain characters getting more screen time. It's just so good. I loved it. I really did. And I honestly can't wait to talk with you all about it. So when this comes out, let me know how excited you are. Let me know what you're hoping to see. Let me know if you're just going to say, nope, I'm passing on it. And that's okay, even though I think you're missing out, because this truly is. Really. This is a great season. Just one season of television. All right? I know they plan, or there's talks of them doing a second one. I hope they do. But, again, I'm sure you're like, where are the spoilers? Well, if you've played the game, you pretty much know how this one's going to turn out. Okay? Because this season is all just part 1. Yep. DLC included. Just throwing that out there. But, again, you'll know the story. Just fall in love with the characters all over again, because that's what I did. I just, my God, Pedro and Bella as Joel and Ellie. I didn't see it when it was cast. I was like, I don't know. I see it now. I really, really do. So check it out. It'll premieres on Sunday, January 15th. And yeah, again, if I were to rate it, I would say this is a 5 out of 5. Just like the video game. I would say this is going to be, well, I don't know. At times it's going to be very violent and have certain scenes that might be uncomfortable for others. So I don't know how critics will react. As a gamer, loved it. As an audience member, fantastic. I guess if I'm considered a critic, I don't know about that. I think they did a really great job. Seriously. They spared no expense. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share, comment down below. Again, I want to know from all of you how excited you are about the show. What do you want to see? And who knows, maybe once the show airs, we'll start talking spoilers. But until then, I don't know what that was, but I'm leaving that in because it's awkward. And yeah. Oh my God. All right. Bye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour.